For most of modern history, cities were built around friction. Goods took time to move, shops had limited reach, and distance shaped how people lived and spent money. That friction created something important: local economies. A bakery served the neighborhood because it had to. A bookstore survived because customers walked in the door. Stores clustered together because proximity created convenience. But over the last decade, something has quietly started to erase that friction. With a few taps on a phone, groceries arrive in 20 minutes. A package appears on your doorstep the same day. Dinner travels across the city faster than you could drive to pick it up yourself. It feels like progress. It feels efficient. It feels free. But the hidden cost of instant delivery is that it quietly reshapes the economics of entire cities, and the bill is rarely paid by the companies promising convenience. The modern logistics economy runs on a powerful illusion that delivery is cheap. When people see free shipping or no delivery fee, it feels like a gift from technology. But in reality, moving physical goods through crowded urban environments is extremely expensive. Warehouses, drivers, fuel, routing software, customer support, and infrastructure all carry real costs. Historically, those costs were built into the price of goods through physical stores and supply chains. Today, many of those costs are temporarily absorbed by venture capital and aggressive market expansion strategies. Companies subsidize delivery to grow market share. They burn billions of dollars to convince consumers that speed and convenience should be the new default. And while customers enjoy the benefits in the short term, those subsidies don't disappear. They simply move somewhere else. One of the first places those costs appear is in the collapse of local retail margins. When instant delivery becomes the norm, neighborhood businesses face a structural disadvantage. A local shop can't compete with a global logistics network that has massive fulfillment centers, automated inventory systems, and investor funding. Even if the product itself is identical, the expectation of instant availability changes consumer behavior. Instead of browsing locally, people order remotely. Instead of discovering businesses on the street, they discover them through algorithms. Over time, foot traffic declines. Stores close. And once they disappear, the local economic ecosystem weakens. That ecosystem matters more than people realize. Local businesses don't just sell products. They generate commercial rent, pay municipal taxes, employ residents, and create activity on streets that supports other businesses. When storefronts vanish, the effect spreads outward. Fewer shops mean fewer customers walking through neighborhoods. Fewer customers mean fewer cafes, services, and independent stores. The commercial vitality that once supported city budgets slowly erodes. But the second hidden cost of instant logistics is infrastructure. Every delivery requires roads, curb space, parking, traffic management, and public maintenance. Cities were not originally designed for thousands of independent delivery vehicles circulating through residential streets every hour. Congestion increases. Roads deteriorate faster. Parking conflicts intensify. Yet the cost of maintaining this infrastructure is largely paid by taxpayers, not the delivery platforms benefiting from it. This creates a subtle economic transfer. Private companies capture the convenience profits while public infrastructure absorbs the logistical strain. Municipal governments often struggle to regulate or tax these systems effectively because technology companies move faster than policy frameworks. By the time cities respond, the market has already shifted. Another layer of the hidden cost appears in labor. Instant delivery requires a vast network of gig workers operating under flexible, often precarious arrangements. These workers absorb volatility that companies once handled internally. When demand spikes, more drivers log on. When demand falls, earnings collapse. The platform maintains flexibility while workers carry uncertainty. This model keeps delivery prices artificially low for consumers while transferring risk downward through the labor market. The urban landscape also changes physically. Instead of storefronts designed for browsing, cities increasingly see the rise of micro-fulfillment centers, dark stores, and logistics hubs hidden inside ordinary buildings. These spaces exist purely for packaging and dispatching goods. They don't invite customers inside. They don't contribute to street life. They operate quietly behind closed doors. optimizing speed rather than community engagement. Over time, this transformation alters how cities function. Streets become delivery corridors instead of social spaces. Retail becomes algorithmic distribution instead of physical discovery. Neighborhood economies shift from locally rooted commerce to globally managed logistics networks. The irony is that convenience itself can accelerate this transformation faster than people expect. When consumers become accustomed to instant delivery, expectations change permanently. Waiting 2 days for shipping begins to feel slow. Driving to pick something up begins to feel inefficient. As the expectations solidify, companies gain enormous leverage. Once competitors disappear and local retail weakens, the same platforms that once subsidized delivery can gradually adjust pricing, fees, and terms. The illusion of free convenience fades once the market is consolidated. We've seen versions of this pattern before. Many tech platforms begin by offering services below their real cost to capture users and reshape behavior. Once those behaviors become habits, the economics slowly shift. Fees appear, prices rise, options narrow. By the time the true cost emerges, the underlying infrastructure has already changed. The deeper issue is that cities historically depended on friction. Friction created density, density created commerce, and commerce created tax revenue that funded public services. When friction disappears from retail and logistics, cities must rethink how they sustain themselves. If storefronts close and sales move through remote warehouses, local governments collect less commercial tax revenue, even while infrastructure demands increase. This tension is already visible in many major urban centers. Vacant storefronts appear where thriving businesses once stood. Delivery vehicles crowd streets designed for pedestrians and small-scale commerce. Local retailers struggle to match the speed and pricing expectations set by global platforms. None of this means logistics innovation is inherently bad. Faster delivery, better supply chains, and improved distribution networks can create enormous benefits. But when these systems grow without accounting for their broader economic impact, they reshape cities in ways that are difficult to reverse. The real question isn't whether instant delivery should exist. It's whether cities can adapt their economic structures to account for its hidden costs. Because every free delivery relies on a chain of expenses somewhere in the system. Those expenses might appear in labor conditions, infrastructure strain, disappearing storefronts, or declining tax bases. Convenience always has a price. The only question is who ultimately pays it. And as instant logistics continues expanding, the answer increasingly looks like this. The cost isn't paid at checkout. It's paid slowly, over time, by the neighborhoods that lose the businesses, streets, and economic vitality that once made cities work.